Hey, what's up guys, it's Graphic Phoenix back with another video today, and today we're doing the question and answer video. These are going to be my answers to your questions. My laptop is over there. Behind me I have the new shrimp tank that I just set up, as well as the old fish tank that I have. I really hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to be doing minimal editing on this because I need to get it done. So I'm going to be mentioning everybody's name, but I'm not going to have a screen capture of their comment or anything like that. Let's get started. Alright, so I'm just going to be reading down the list on my screen and answering. So Viper Strike 2805 says, how long does it take you to care for all your pets? And would you ever get a paddle-tail newt or any other type of newt or salamander? With the salamander, not really. They're not really my thing. I mean, they're cool, but I'd rather keep other stuff. As for stuff in the morning, hopefully I'll be having a day in the life video, and it's generally like 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe. It's not that long. Like, it's mostly getting food ready and feeding and misting. So other than that, my daily routine is not super extensive. It's when I'm filming videos and changing cages around and doing that stuff that it gets a little intensive. Alfredo Andanzola says, will you ever consider buying a snake? Yes. I want a snake. Matt Dockham says, what is the worst reptile to get as a pet? Oh, I don't know. One that you don't take care of? One that you don't research? There's not really a bad reptile. I mean, everybody's into their own thing, and I totally respect that. I don't want people to think that I don't like any reptiles, because they're all cool. Like, they all have their ups and downs. But Leopard Gecko Center says, can you use a 12x12x18 for one gecko its whole life? No. Depending on what kind of gecko they are, I assume you're talking about a leopard gecko or a crested gecko, and both of those, it's too small. Simon Hansen says, have you ever had an interest in amphibians? Example, firebelly toads, firebelly newts, American tree frogs. If so, which one would you be interested in? I do like some amphibians. There's a couple that I would consider getting. Milk tree frogs, they are so awesome. Honestly, if my buddy produces some, I might have to get some because they're so cool. Or dart frogs. A lot of dart frogs are really cool, and it kind of fits in with my like plants and everything, so I can make a nice living vivarium. Caleb Chalk says, what were your dream carby? Also, do you prefer hypermelanistic or hypo? I prefer melanistic. I really like the dark colors that it provides by melanistic. As for a dream car, are we talking like sports car? My girlfriend's dad actually built a 67 Mustang. Like, that is delicious. Or even one of the new Stingrays. They just have a lot of power, so with great power comes great responsibility, right? Grant Horton says, why no snakes? And I say parents and girlfriend. JD Hubley, which he watches pretty much every video, so thanks for watching, buddy. I appreciate it. Do you use lights in your crested gecko? If so, what one do you have? UVA, UVB? I heard they only need UVA or sometimes no lights at all. I don't use lights. Tig's right over there. I don't know if you can see her in frame or not, but I don't use any lights. Clashing with Keaton says, where are AccuMonitors from? Australia. Ryan Viella, how will you take care of your reptiles in a zombie apocalypse? I don't think I'd really be able to take care of them, to be honest. What if they turned into zombies and I got bitten and consumed? I don't know. How would you take care of yours? Noah Doobie asks, a couple years ago I got a crestie that I should have cared more for, and she died. How do I regain my parents' trust to get another animal? I know tons about crestie and their care. Honestly, it's tough. You really have to prove you're capable of it now. If you know so much about them, it shouldn't have died in the first place. So, I mean, that's your prerogative. You have to prove to them that you know, trust, and have responsibility, and you can take care of them, because if not, then why would they let you? You killed one, so. JR Nguyen, do you think you'll get a vlog channel or possibly a gaming channel? I haven't really tried vlogging, so I don't know. I feel like I'd be pretty shy in public. Maybe. Probably not, though. And then, as for a gaming channel, that's more probable than a vlogging channel. Me and my buddies have been talking about it for quite a while, It's just neither of us really have an appropriate setup to have recording and editing and everything like that all in the same area. So it's a little hard, but we're considering it. If we do decide to do it, I will certainly let you guys know. Andrew Treveria. By the way, guys, if I'm butchering your names, I'm very sorry. What is your dream reptile? And what do you love more, geckos or monitors? Monitors, as between geckos and monitors. I like monitors. And dream reptile, there's some very high ones on my list. Like the top 3 I can name off the top of my head are Fijian iguanas, like a full rainbow of the tree monitors, and a sailfin dragon. So, yeah. All of them are big. That's the problem. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Random reptiles. Q&A. If you could ever get any reptile you don't already have, what would it be? Q&A. Would you ever get a Pac-Man frog? Brilliant video again, man. Pac-Man frog, no. There's other frogs I get before Pac-Man. My buddy has 3 of them, so if you guys want to see a video, I can make one. But as for any reptiles that I don't have, I think there's a question later on that asks what my next project will be, and I have that kind of lined up. So that'll be interesting. But if I had to choose, well, it'd be like one of my top 3. Like if I could have any reptile, I'd probably pick one of those top 3. I couldn't lay it down to one, but elemental pets. Are you planning on getting any more monitor lizards anytime soon? Yes. As for soon, not really. I would love to get them soon, but I feel like that would not go over well. I'm in the heart of university. I'm 1 year in. I'm just starting my spring semester on Friday. I believe this is going up Saturday, so I started on Friday, and it's busy. Like, honestly, plans for the future would have to be when like Striker and Tig pass, and Rango. I don't plan on like replacing them. I'm gonna be keeping Kai, obviously, so that'll be kind of a Rango substitute. I can never replace him. He's too near and dear to everyone's heart. But other than that, it would probably shrink down a little bit, and then when I'm out of university, it'll expand again. So that's a hope. M. Drogon. What do you think the best beginner invertebrate is? I'm not an invert guy. I'm Chilean Rosehair. Sam Burdett. Do you have any recommendations for certain reptile products that you've had success with? Yes, I do. There's some that I have not had success with, or that I can say. The Exoterra Monsoon, I know they've supposedly redesigned it, and I haven't got a new one yet, but my old one is so bugged up, it's not even funny. Whereas an alternative to the Exoterra Monsoon, there's actually a product called Mist King, or Mist King. Mist King. I just said it fast for some reason. And they do an amazing job. I actually have one. They're just kind of a pain in the ass to set up. Like the Exoterra, plug it in, fill the reservoir, attach the hosing to your cages, you're done. Whereas the other one, there's a bunch more steps to it. You need a 5-gallon pail to drill a hole in it. You need to set it up. But apparently it's used by a bunch of zoos and facilities, and I know I've heard great things about it. I've never heard of anything dying or malfunctioning like the Exoterra is. There's always tongs that you want to have, or tweezers. There's the Exoterra cages. I don't have any more right now, actually, but I really like them. The Zoomed Reptibreeze is a very good cage. Like, that's what I've been using for Rango, and it's held up fairly well. It's not still perfect looking, but it's held up, and I've beaten it up quite a bit, so that's definitely an option. Repashy products are very solid. Pretty much any light bulb, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's all I can really recommend. I don't really have too much else to say. There are a bunch of different products out there. I'm sure everybody's used a couple of the ones that I've mentioned, but not necessarily everything, so consider it. Jacob Reptiles asks, if you could have any other reptile, what would it be besides the type that you have? I already answered that. I'll throw a new one in there into those top 3 between the sailfin, Fijian iguana, and the tree monitors. I'll throw in a shingleback skink. Those are really cool, as well as the smog gigantus, I believe they're called. They're the like true armadillo lizards. They get big, they're really badass. But here in Canada, there was a trio selling for $4,500. So that's actually a little less than I paid for my car, but I don't know if I can drop that on just any reptile yet. Maybe someday, not yet. MJMP Exotics asks 3 questions. What would be your next reptile and why? What is your favorite monitor species? I have a savanna. What is your favorite reptile that you would recommend for a skilled keeper? So number 1, what would be your next reptile? I'll announce it now. I actually met the gecko tree where I live. They have something called E. agricolae, and they are like the chameleon tail gecko or something like that. I have a picture. I'll post it on Instagram if you guys want to follow me. I'll leave the links down below and you can check it out. But they're really tiny. Like they're another similar, like a dwarf gecko, but they're handleable, unlike moose and bean were. If you go back in my channel, I've had Lygodactylus williamsi, which are lightning quick and not tameable, or not that I've seen at least. And these guys are a little bit bigger, probably about twice the size of them, but apparently they're rapashi hogs and they do very well. So I'm really hoping to get some babies from the gecko tree or find them at reptile expos or something like that. And they live in a cage small enough to where it can fit in like that back chamber right there. So that's the end goal for me. Favorite monitor species that I've owned? Well, obviously Ackies, but honestly, I really like blackthroats. They're really cool. Whitethroats are just as cool. Savannas are awesome. If we're going to like the exotics or like the Indonesian species, peach throats are cool, although they, from what I've seen, they're not as tameable. Or tree monitors, those are also really awesome as well, but you really have to spend a lot of time with those guys to get them tame. And what is your favorite reptile that you'd recommend for a skilled keeper? It depends how much money you're willing to spend. Now, I can't say that there's one that I'd recommend to everyone, because a lot of people have different tastes. Like, if you're more of a desert guy, then something like a savanna. While they don't need to be skilled keepers, they require a huge cage, and that is more of a intermediate to skilled keepers like forte. They have larger reptiles. They don't keep like a 20-gallon with a leopard gecko in it. If you like exotic reptiles, like or tropical reptiles, I don't know, like it depends if you're looking for lizards or snakes. I personally really like black-headed pythons. They're pretty badass. Honestly, if I get a snake, I'm probably gonna save and get one of those because they're so awesome. And if I can recommend those, they're pretty badass. If you're looking for like a lizard, even chameleons, some of the really cool chameleon species, like a Parsons chameleon or something like that. Like I can't recommend one. There's just too much out there. So that wraps up part 1 of the Q&A. I hope everybody enjoyed. Check back to my channel tomorrow on Sunday to see the second part, because this will be a 2-part video. I hope everyone has enjoyed my responses so far, and if you did, in fact, like those, drop a like down below, as well as leave any questions, comments, anything like that in the comment section down below. I will answer more questions if people have them. Don't worry, I always answer the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, more fish, more reptiles, everywhere else around me, and plants as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. Graphic Phoenix, out of here.